Welcome or welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you're new here, my name's Mahala. I like to do furniture flips, DIYs and room makeovers. Today we're of course doing a furniture flip. This dresser is well loved, to say the least. There's a lot of scratches, a lot of marks on it. It's not really in the best shape, and then the backboard as well has a big hole in it, so I'll need to replace that at some point. Although it looks like there's two of the handles missing here, they are actually in the drawer, so I will be using these handles on my makeover because I think that they're really pretty. So let's jump into some cleaning and getting this place prepped and ready. Let's get into it. To remove the hardware. One moment.
There was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover.
Before I move on to the next step, I just wanted to show you guys my cloth here. So you can see there's a lot of discoloration, some of the stain coming off onto this cloth, and that, if you see it, is a pretty sure sign that you will need to prime before you paint. So if you do see this, definitely bust out your primer, pop on a coat of that before you put on your paint. It will work wonders. It is wood filler time, and oops. The wood filler that I'm using is this Lepage wood filler in natural. There is just so much that has to be filled, so I know I'm going to end up using a lot of wood filler. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a mission, so let's get this happening. Make a little bit of noise and get to the sanding stage of this project. I'm going to go in with a 150 grit sandpaper just to knock off all of that wood filler that's sort of sitting on the surface. Then I will assess if I need to add any more. Usually I do, which is always very frustrating, but you do what you gotta do. And to get this sanding done, I've got my Bosch orbital sander here, which I love, and also my Festool dust extractor, which, if you are working on projects and you happen to work on them indoors, very, very good at keeping the dust to an absolute minimum. So definitely recommend that one. Whoop. Let's sand. been sanding for days, but I'm done. And now I want to repair this. So you can see there's a big hole here, it's broken here. We're gonna get rid of that and replace it with an MDF board. Pretty simple because it's already pretty much coming off the back anyway. We're just gonna take that off, use that as a template for the measurement for my MDF board, make some cuts, nail gun it back on, weld a new one on, and away we go.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, really wanna know.
Well, the board pretty much disintegrated as I tried to pull it off, but I've pieced it back together. So I'm going to measure just a tiny bit extra in the length of the board because I noticed that you could see some of the pocket holes on the back of the original covering. So where it was covered, the pocket holes sort of sat above, and obviously that's not ideal, so I would prefer to cover that if possible. So I'm just going to add a little bit extra on the edge. So essentially I'm just going to match this all up together best I can. Now this board is pretty much the same width. There's the tiniest little bit, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have to trim that or not. So initially I'm just going to take the main cut, and then if I need to trim a little on the edge I can, but if I don't have to, it's always good.
Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
I am so pleased to say that it is time to prime. So I've just decided that I'm going to roll my primer on. It's pretty much a smooth surface or flat surface, so it just makes it a little bit easier. And for the primer, it's a little hard to see the label, but it is a Zinza primer, and it's in the color white because I will be painting this piece an off-white color. Let's get this going. What time is it? Technically it's 8:29 at night, but it is also painting time. Yeah, I'm so happy. We are going to be using Country Chic today. I know, I never use Country Chic, but I do love this paint. It's just I don't have a lot of it. But I have this pot. It is vanilla frosting, so a lovely, creamy off-white color. And we're going to use this to cover this dresser, make it look nice and chic and pretty and ready to be loved. I am going to continue with the rolling on process, but I will also cut in with my Country Chic. Is it Country Chic? It is in fact Country Chic. So I will cut in with my Country Chic angled brush in some of those areas that need to be cut in. But otherwise I will be rolling it on because I actually found it very easy to roll the primer. Also a little pro tip with Country Chic paint, you probably will need to water it down just a little bit. I always like to add a little bit of water to the paint just to make it a little smoother as I paint or roll it on. Let's paint.
In and out of love, never get enough. We never seem to get older. When things are going right, you seem to have the time. But when it's hard, you just grow colder. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires, fires around ourselves. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires, fires around ourselves. It's deja vu. Memories come back when I'm with you. It's deja vu. Memories come back when I'm with you.
Alrighty, so little update. I definitely added just a little too much water to my paint mix. So when I put the first coat on, it's pretty thin. It's just a tad thinner than what I would ideally like it to be, so I'm definitely gonna have to do a few coats. That is all okay. However, as I painted my first coat, it also highlighted, which I would have expected the primer to do, but it did not, but it also highlighted that some of the scratch marks were still visible. Annoying, I know. So what I've done is I've actually added some white wood filler just in those little spots that needed a little bit more coverage. So I'm gonna go in and sand all of that down now and get on coat number 2. Now, even though it is a little frustrating that I had to do this, I still have to sand between my paint coats anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, and it's obviously just better to get a really smooth, nice, even finish on this piece and smooth out that first coat so I can pop on coat number 2. The thing, I ran out of paint and I still would have needed another 2 coats, I think, after already putting 4 coats down. I really love Country Chic paint, and unfortunately I had just a little under half a pot. Usually for a dresser that's totally fine. I have no issues whatsoever doing a couple coats of paint, and I never go through, I don't usually buy a pot this big. I normally buy something more like this size, but for whatever reason it just wasn't enough. I ran out, and so I had to make a decision. Either try and order some more, which would take a few days to come in the post, or switch it up, and I decided to switch it up. So I chose a color that is very, very similar to the color that I had originally chosen with the Country Chic, and it is the Champlain in the Fusion Mineral Paint. It's pretty close, but you can see here that it is a little bit of a warmer color, the Champlain, rather than the sort of more white, bright white leaning of the vanilla frosting. I'm a bit disappointed, so I promise I will definitely pick up some more Country Chic paint in the future and make sure that I definitely have enough. I think that this dresser just had a lot of bleed through going on, and also because I did water this down at the start, I think that that affected the coverage that I got, which I do think that watering down Country Chic a little bit is a good idea, but I just watered it down too much. So my mistake, we live and learn. But just in case you guys were wanting to use the paint color that I have on the final result when you see it, I wanted to let you know that I did change it up to the Champlain. plum, although I do love vanilla frosting, so stay tuned. Last minute paint changes aside, we're gonna move on now to popping some drawer liners into these drawers, and I chose this very pretty drawer liner or wallpaper, lovely in gold. I think it'll go really nicely with the hardware and just spruce up the drawer bases a little bit. I don't always add wallpaper to the drawers, but for this particular piece I just felt that it would elevate it, and this is real pretty. So we're gonna pop this on. Appreciate the difference that these drawer liners have made. I'm in shock. I love this paper. It's so pretty. I'm getting better at putting drawer liners in as well, which is great. So I didn't have to repeat any of the drawers, which is especially good because I only just had enough paper to cover each of the 4 drawers. It's so pretty and I love it. With these beautiful drawers and their drawer liners all fresh and ready to go, we need to get into the hardware. It's a little dirty at the moment. I don't think that it is brass, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean up. If I need to, I'll spray paint it, but if not, then I'll just leave it be. It may need some spray paint because there is a little discoloration. I'm just not sure if it'll come up as I clean it. Process, it's just not real brass obviously, and it's just not going to work as it is, so I am going to spray paint it. I think I am going to go with the antique brass, but I'm going to do a test because I'm not sure if it's going to be a little too dark. If it is, then I've got the pure gold, Rust-Oleum pure gold, which I'll change it up to. So I'm going to test one of each, see which one feels like the right choice, and then we'll go with that. Running out of paint seems to be the theme of this furniture flip. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Clearly, I need to restock my supplies. So I did go to the hardware store to see if they had more of the pure gold. Of course, they did not. Why would they? So instead, I picked up some Rust-Oleum metallic spray paint. It was the only gold they had. Honestly, I bought it thinking I'm probably gonna hate this, and if I do, I'll just use the dregs of this one. The issue with that is that it was splattering a little bit, which is obviously not what you want in a clean finish on your hardware. However, I have just spray painted the metallic and I actually really like it. Never would have thought that I would have picked metallic spray paint, but here we are. Let's get to spraying. My Country Chic painting failed epically. I felt it was only right to use a Country Chic top coat. So we're going with the clear coat by Country Chic, and I think it will just give a lovely finish.
From my window, sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door. to wake up yet. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone.
And we are done, which I think we both know what that means. It's time for before and afters. Let's take a look. Joining me for another flip this week, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this week's video. I feel like we both learned a little something about me. I am not necessarily the most prepared person. I promise to work on that. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, the like button, or you can also follow me over on Instagram as well for some more behind the scenes stuff. I will see you guys next week with another video. Until then, I'll see you next week. So let's jump on into all of the... Why am I so tongue-tied today? So I'm gonna jump into these drawers now. In my container at the moment, there's not a whole lot, nearly tipped it out.